surgeon reveals, do this one exercise for poor leg circulation. After 60. Senior health tips. It's a common misconception that the usual exercises recommended for poor leg circulation in individuals over 60 are the most effective. In reality, these familiar routines might actually be hindering recovery. As a surgeon, I witness this phenomenon repeatedly in my practice. Patients diligently engage in walking, elevate their legs as advised, and utilize compression socks, yet they continue to experience bothersome symptoms such as cold extremities, persistent swelling, a burning sensation in their legs, and unfortunately, a heightened risk of falls. The truly concerning aspect of this situation is that compromised circulation is far more than a mere inconvenience. After the age of 60, it can insidiously pave the way for slow-healing sores, debilitating infections, and, in the most severe instances, lead to the necessity of amputations. Furthermore, it serves as one of the earliest indicators that the cardiovascular system, encompassing both the heart and the arteries, is under significant strain. The fundamental issue many individuals face is a lack of true understanding regarding the nature of poor circulation. It's not simply about experiencing cold toes. It signifies a failure of the blood to efficiently travel down to the feet and then return to the heart. As people age, particularly beyond 60, arteries can lose their elasticity, becoming narrower, while veins may weaken, leading to blood pooling in the lower extremities. By the time individuals reach their 70s, a significant proportion, nearly 1 in 5 adults, exhibit measurable signs of peripheral artery disease in their legs, often without being aware of it. This is precisely why medical professionals, including surgeons, do not rely on guesswork when it comes to circulation issues. We have first-hand knowledge of the detrimental consequences that arise when circulation is not adequately restored in its early stages. We observe how seemingly minor swelling can escalate into non-healing sores, how a subtle imbalance can lead to a loss of stability, and how a single fall can precipitate a rapid and irreversible decline in overall health and mobility. However, there is encouraging news to share. The path to regaining optimal circulation does not necessarily depend on reaching a specific number of steps. Instead, it hinges on performing specific movements that actively encourage the return of blood flow towards the heart. Once the underlying mechanism, the specific muscle responsible for this vital pumping action, is understood, the solution becomes remarkably straightforward. The most impactful insights are reserved for later, as comprehending the science behind these movements will undoubtedly transform your perspective on exercise for individuals over 60. This knowledge could be the critical factor determining whether you remain agile and strong into your 80s or find yourself reliant on a cane by the age of 70. We begin with movement number 5, often referred to as the second heart pump, due to its profound impact on calf activation. This movement, while appearing deceptively simple, is underscored by robust scientific evidence and is a cornerstone of surgical rehabilitation protocols. It is frequently the very first exercise prescribed by surgeons following leg surgery to mitigate the risk of circulatory collapse. The significance of this movement extends far beyond its unassuming appearance. Your calf muscles are home to what medical professionals term the venous muscle pump, a system sometimes likened to the body's secondary heart. Each contraction of these muscles generates a squeezing action on the veins in your lower legs, propelling blood back upwards towards the heart. In individuals over 60, this crucial pump can experience a rapid decline in effectiveness, particularly if sedentary periods are prolonged. When this pump is underperforming, blood tends to pool in the ankles and feet, leading to increased swelling, reduced oxygen delivery to the tissues, and a slowdown in the healing process. Clinical research conducted within the field of vascular rehabilitation has demonstrated that simple ankle pumping exercises can significantly enhance venous return and reduce swelling in the lower legs of older adults, even when performed without standing or walking. The key here is not the intensity of the movement, but rather its consistency and the deliberate nature of each action. To execute this exercise correctly, sit in a chair with your feet feet planted firmly on the floor. The initial action involves lifting your toes towards your shins while keeping your heels grounded. Subsequently, press your toes into the floor and lift your heels, simulating the motion of pressing a gas pedal. This sequence constitutes 1 repetition. It is imperative to perform these movements slowly and with controlled execution. The recommended regimen is 20 to 30 repetitions, performed 2 to 3 times per day. This exercise can be seamlessly integrated into daily activities, such as watching television, reading a book, or sitting at a dining table. This specific movement effectively reinstates a pumping action that conventional walking, especially after the age of 60, often fails to adequately stimulate. Walking relies heavily on momentum, whereas ankle pumps create deliberate muscular contractions that are instrumental in expelling stagnant blood from the lower legs. The direct benefits include warmer feet, a reduction in swelling, and decreased pressure on delicate veins. It also represents one of the safest methods to initiate circulatory improvement, particularly for individuals who experience limitations in mobility due to pain, balance issues, or fatigue. However, ankle pumps primarily serve to awaken the circulatory system. The subsequent movement focuses on strengthening the muscles responsible for preventing blood from flowing backward, which is where substantial changes in circulation begin to manifest. This brings us to movement number 4, the seated venous return lift. If you assume that performing an exercise while seated implies an easy task, prepare to be surprised. A significant study published in 2024 in the Archives of Physical Medicine and Rehabilitation revealed that adults over the age of 60 who engaged in seated leg lifts with light resistance experienced a remarkable 28% improvement in their walking speed and a 45% increase in stair climbing ability within a mere 8-week period. These quantifiable improvements hold profound implications that extend far beyond simple fitness metrics. Walking speed is not merely an indicator of physical conditioning. It is recognized by medical professionals as the 6th vital sign, due to its strong correlation with an increased risk of falls, a diminished capacity for independent living, and a reduced lifespan. The efficacy of this particular exercise, especially when traditional walking falls short, lies in its targeted approach. Seated leg lifts simultaneously engage the quadriceps and hip flexor muscles, while simultaneously requiring the core muscles to maintain body stabilization. These are the very muscles that are essential for maintaining leg functionality during standing, ascending stairs, or rising from a seated position. Traditional walking, unfortunately, often does not provide sufficient challenge to these muscles to counteract age-related decline. When these muscles contract during the seated leg lift, they not only build strength, but also exert pressure on the major veins within the thighs, thereby facilitating the return of blood to the heart and minimizing pooling. To perform this exercise correctly, sit upright in a sturdy chair, ensuring your back is firmly pressed against the seat and both feet are flat on the floor. The movement involves slowly lifting one leg straight out in front of you, maintaining the knee as straight as is comfortably possible. Hold this elevated position for approximately 2 seconds before slowly lowering the leg back down, refraining from allowing your foot to drop abruptly. This constitutes 1 repetition. Aim for 10 to 15 repetitions on one leg before switching to the other. A crucial detail often overlooked is the importance of posture. Maintaining contact between your back and the chair prevents the use of momentum, thereby ensuring that the intended muscles are engaged for the exercise. This specific muscular engagement is the source of the circulatory benefit. As you progress and find this movement becoming easier, consider incorporating light resistance, such as ankle weights or a resistance band. Even a small amount of added weight, perhaps 1 or 2 pounds, can make a significant difference. Research consistently indicates that muscles respond to progressive resistance at any age, and older adults often exhibit faster improvements, largely because they are starting from a lower baseline of conditioning. This exercise not only reduces stiffness and enhances walking tolerance, but also fortifies the muscles that are instrumental in propelling blood through the upper legs, a benefit that ankle pumps alone cannot fully provide. However, even well-developed thigh muscles offer limited protection contraction if the body's balance system is not functioning optimally. This leads us to movement number 3, the calf pump walk with support. This specific muscle group is rarely assessed by medical professionals, yet it is frequently the primary reason why seniors experience a loss of independence. What is particularly striking, even to seasoned researchers analyzing data on aging, is the strong correlation between calf strength and an individual's ability to maintain their autonomy. A landmark report published by the National Institute on Aging identified calf strength as one of the most significant predictors of whether an individual over the age of 60 would retain their independence. Seniors who possessed stronger calf muscles were observed to experience dramatically fewer falls and were substantially less likely to require assisted living facilities. The profound importance of this observation, often underestimated, lies in the functional role of the calf muscles. They act as a mechanical pump. With each contraction, these muscles compress the deep veins within the lower leg, effectively forcing blood upwards against the pull of gravity. Weak calf muscles, conversely, lead to blood pooling, increased swelling, diminished oxygen delivery to the tissues, and a noticeable slowing of balance reactions. This explains why surgeons and rehabilitation teams place such a high emphasis on this particular movement, despite its seemingly elementary nature. What distinguishes this exercise is its multifaceted approach. It not only builds muscular strength, but also simultaneously retrains the circulatory system and enhances balance, the very combination your body relies on to prevent falls. To perform this exercise with precision, stand behind a stable chair or countertop and lightly grasp it for support. Rise up onto the balls of your feet, lifting your heels as high as is comfortably possible. At the apex of this movement, pause for 2 to 3 seconds, ensuring your gaze is directed straight ahead, not downwards. Following the pause, slowly lower your heels back down, taking approximately 3 seconds to complete the descent. The critical element of this exercise lies in its tempo. The brief pause at the top of the movement is where the beneficial effects are most pronounced, as it compels your balance system and calf muscles to engage simultaneously, mirroring the physiological response required to regain stability during a stumble. Begin with 10 repetitions and gradually increase this number to 20 or 25 as your strength improves. Over time, this single focused movement demonstrably enhances ankle stability, improves circulation, and accelerates reaction speed, all concurrently. It offers one of the most direct pathways to reducing leg swelling while simultaneously mitigating fall risk, all without imposing undue stress on the joints. As we approach the top 2 exercises, it's important to recognize that this is where the most transformative changes in circulation and balance truly begin. We now introduce movement number 2, the single leg circulation hold. This exercise secures the runner-up position and is considered absolutely indispensable by orthopedic surgeons for individuals over the age of 75. Before dismissing this as merely a balance exercise, consider a striking finding from extensive reviews of aging research. Large-scale population studies, as referenced by the National Institutes on Aging, have established that the capacity to stand on one leg is a powerful predictor of future falls, a decline in mobility, and a rapid deterioration of physical function after the age of 60. In fact, adults who are unable to perform simple single-leg balance tests are several times more likely to experience significant falls within the subsequent few years. Once falls begin to occur, circulatory issues almost invariably worsen rather than improve. The impact of this exercise on blood flow is substantial. Each time you stand on one leg, your calf, ankle, hip, and core muscles are compelled to contract continuously to maintain an upright posture. This sustained muscular contraction generates a prolonged effect from the muscle pump mechanism, particularly within the calves, effectively pushing blood upwards and counteracting the downward pull in the lower legs. Traditional walking, by its nature, never imposes such a demand. you are only on one leg for a fleeting moment. The single leg stance hold, however, forces the pumping action to remain engaged. This is precisely where the interconnectedness of improved circulation and fall prevention becomes evident. When an individual's balance deteriorates, they tend to reduce their physical activity. A decrease in movement leads to slower blood flow, increased swelling, heightened pain levels, a decline in confidence, and thus the initiation of a downward spiral. To execute this exercise correctly, stand near a countertop, chair, or wall and place one hand lightly upon it for support. Shift your body weight onto one leg, lifting the other foot just an inch or two off the floor. The height of the lifted foot is not the primary objective. Rather, it is to maintain an upright and tall posture with your eyes directed forward. Avoid tensing your toes. Hold this position for 20 to 30 seconds, maintaining normal breathing patterns. Subsequently, switch legs. This sequence constitutes one set. Commence with 2 rounds per leg. As you become more proficient, gradually decrease your reliance on your supporting hand, striving eventually to hover it without making contact. The potency of this exercise lies not solely in its balance challenge, but in the principle of time under tension. These sustained muscular contractions are instrumental in keeping blood circulating, strengthening the stabilizing muscles, and retraining the nervous system to respond more rapidly in the event of a stumble. Research consistently demonstrates that improvements in single-leg balance directly correlate with a reduced risk of falls, enhanced confidence in walking, and the ability of seniors to remain active, which is paramount for long-term circulatory health. However, it is crucial to acknowledge a key limitation. While balance helps maintain an upright position, it does not fully restore blood flow in isolation. To achieve comprehensive restoration of blood flow, one must engage in the most potent manifestation of the calf pump mechanism, the one that surgeons worldwide consistently rely upon in rehabilitation protocols. And now, the moment you have been anticipating, movement number 1, the standing calf pump hold. This exercise has earned the top position, and once you grasp the profound physiological impact it has on your legs, you will understand precisely why surgeons across the globe advocate for it with such fervor, often prescribing it as a critical component of restoring blood flow after the age of 60. This is the movement I alluded to at the beginning of our discussion. What astounds even seasoned surgeons upon reviewing long-term recovery data from various vascular rehabilitation programs worldwide is the consistent reappearance of this specific exercise. Its efficacy is undeniable. No other activity activates the calf muscle pump with the same degree of power, safety, and consistency in individuals over 60. It represents the most direct and effective method for actively expelling blood from the lower legs and facilitating its return to the heart, all without the need for medication, specialized equipment, or high-impact maneuvers. The underlying principle of its success is straightforward. Your calf muscles are far more than just simple movers. They function as potent pressure pumps. When you rise onto the balls of your feet and deliberately hold that elevated position, these muscles exert significant pressure on the deep veins within your lower legs, effectively driving blood upward against the force of gravity. The crucial element that differentiates this from other movements is the sustained hold. This ensures that the pump remains actively engaged for a sufficient duration to overcome the effects of blood pooling, reduce swelling, and combat sluggish return flow. Traditional walking, while beneficial, does not replicate this sustained pumping action. Ankle pumps serve to prepare the circulatory system, and single-leg stance exercises contribute to control. But the standing calf, raised with a hold, actively mobilizes blood and maintains its upward momentum. This is why surgeons place such immense trust in this particular exercise. To perform it correctly, stand behind a chair or countertop and lightly grasp it for support, ensuring your feet are positioned hip-width apart. Slowly rise onto the balls of your feet, lifting your heels as high as you comfortably can. Now, crucially, pause at this elevated position. Hold it for 3 to 5 seconds, continuing to breathe normally and keeping your gaze directed forward. Following this pause, slowly lower your heels back down, taking approximately 3 seconds to complete the movement. This entire sequence constitutes 1 repetition. Begin with a set of 8 to 10 repetitions, and as your strength and control improve, gradually increase this to 15 or 20 repetitions. The key to unlocking the full benefits of this exercise lies in the duration of the hold. This is where the significant physiological changes occur. The sustained muscular contraction ensures that the calf pump is fully engaged, leading to improved venous return, a reduction in swelling, and the retraining of those crucial muscles your body relies upon to regain stability during unexpected stumbles. Clinical rehabilitation data consistently shows that seniors who master these controlled heel raises experience improvements in circulation, enhanced walking endurance, increased ankle strength, and greater confidence in their balance, all simultaneously. Furthermore, unlike exercises that involve high impact, this movement places minimal stress on the joints, rendering it a safe option even for individuals managing arthritis or significant balance concerns, particularly when performed with the necessary support. Thus, you have before you a set of 5 exercises that surgeons routinely employ to effectively restore circulation, diminish swelling, and safeguard independence in individuals over the age of 60. While walking is undoubtedly a valuable activity and should be continued, it alone leaves critical gaps in addressing all aspects of lower leg circulation and balance. It does not fully activate the vital muscle pumps responsible for moving blood out of the legs, nor does it adequately train the balance systems essential for fall prevention. These 5 targeted movements precisely fill those voids. The most advantageous aspect is their practicality. They require less than 15 minutes of your day, necessitate no specialized gym equipment, and can be safely performed in the comfort of your own home. We are eager to hear your thoughts. Which of these exercises did you find most surprising? Or which one are you committing to starting today? Please share your comments below. We review every single submission. And before you conclude, be sure not to overlook the subsequent video displayed on your screen. It unveils a single wall-based exercise that surgeons now assert surpasses walking in its effectiveness for building leg strength, enhancing balance, and improving joint stability after the age of 60. Many individuals overlook it due to its apparent simplicity, but when executed with proper technique, the results are remarkably dramatic. Please watch that next video. It has the potential to revolutionize your approach to leg training from this point forward. Thank you for your time and attention.